Hey guys.
Hey everyone, we're just starting the stream a little bit late today. We had some add-ons issues that we have had to update, so just bear with us. Shouldn't be starting any later than 2 or 3 minutes though.
Hello.
These are from the different deployments. We have different themes on the deployments.
So considering the update only dropped like an hour ago, that's not bad going.
Copy.
Stabs,
Hello.
permission to just jump back up into Blade Channel. One of my guys is having issues, mate. I can't be fucking asked to type it or to me.
Absolutely, yeah, go for it.
Cool. Catch you in a bit.
Who's that spinning around like a twat? Bilbo, okay.
That's if you alt tab or track R on. That's what happens.
Just fall upon the line.
Right, well, it looks like a lot of people starting to connect now. We're still waiting for a few more.
Go on.
Someone's hot micing here.
Name Charlie.
Greenie, your guys in.
I think HM having problems.
Alright, if
No,
rest
he's
of you are here,
he's
do you
in the
wanna...
training operations. He's just not in the circuit.
Alright, do you guys want to go away then and start whatever you're going to start?
Yeah, sure.
Saves wasting time. Thanks for your
Caesar
patience.
helicopter base.
Uh, Caesar, are you guys in?
Yeah, they're all on.
Yeah, do you want to go away as well then?
Check Steam.
Right, cool. No worries, just give it a few more minutes then.
I've got Riot jump in the channels, fighting tech anyway, so.
There's still about a dozen people who can't get on the server because of the updates. It seems that the server updated and our clients haven't automatically updated, so we've had to do that manually.
Get in there, get in there, get in there.
That's what I thought.
Right, just give you 2 more minutes, guys, and then we'll get cracking.
You heard the man. 2 more minutes.
Ooh.
Alright. We'll leave the ones that are struggling to the devs. Appreciate your patience, gents. Thank you very much. There's literally nothing we could really do about that, so apologies, but big thanks to Terror and Riot for jumping on it and getting it sorted so quickly, although they can't hear me now, but I told you guys, so it's all the same. Right, tonight we're going to do some armor training. Vegas is going to be joining us. Please make your way over there and then go to the mortar range. And then just regroup onto the side. Go over there.
This looks exciting. What are you doing?
I'm kneeling for my god.
Oh, okay.
Is Outlive okay?
I'm
No,
fine, yeah.
it's brain damage, but
Nothing new then, okay.
yep.
Oh, thank you.
I love you really, Outlive.
I know. And you know, at least I can hit a target from some meters away.
But not from so close.
Alrighty, well, may as well make a start with stuff. Right then, gents, so it's not your typical armoured training, obviously. As you can see, there are some slightly bigger toys than what we're used to seeing. Excuse me. A while ago, these were added into the mod pack, and not really done anything with them, or really used them in particular. Some of you may have had a play around with them, but we've never done any actual training with them. Reason being, they're a whole different entity compared to what you're used to, or what we normally employ in the field, so they're not going to get used on a mission until we've done some pretty extensive training with them, or certainly not used to a large degree until we've done a fair bit of training, which is what tonight's all about. I sent them squad leaders, NCOs, a PM earlier. With these things, they come with a whole weight of responsibility, because they're so powerful and they can kill friendlies and enemies in the same shot, so they need to be handled with a lot more respect than what our warriors or Bradleys or whatever would be. So take all the points on board tonight, make sure you don't go stupid with them, and they will only be used by certain people. So those of you who have got itchy fingers to get on the guns with them and stuff like that, it's not going to be something everyone uses all the time, or if ever, to be honest. It's only going to be certain people. However, all of you should be aware of how to use them and how to operate around them. So initially we're going to go over some just basic movements with them, and getting you guys familiar with how they operate, or how they handle, and how you get in and out as infantry and stuff like that. And then we'll go a bit more in depth and go into an urban environment, and we'll go over infantry escorting the armoured vehicles through them if we've got time. But before I get too ahead of myself, let's introduce you to the first one, if you'll kind of follow me around. Alright, so this one behind me then, it's the Merkava. Yes, it is a vanilla vehicle, but because we've got some WizKids, Widgie and Ben and a couple of others that have done some work on them, it's now our own. No one else in the armour community has this, looking like this. Trust me, I've looked and it does not exist. So essentially this one will be used in a role where it's there to support other mechanised units, i.e. the Bradley or Warrior, and essentially it has much more firepower there for it. It is a tank killer, so we don't have to worry about heavier armoured targets when we're just in a flimsy IFV. The main cannon there's, I think it's a 105 cannon, so that's got HE rounds, armour piercing rounds and heat rounds. The weapon on the top is your standard M2, although it looks a little bit different, but the advantage to this tank is that it can carry infantry inside as well. So this one will be employed as more of a heavy hitting armoured fighting vehicle, if you will, not a standard tank as you would expect them to be used. So this one will be used and employed in a squad, but you're very highly unlikely to see multiples of these. This will be used simply as a bolster to IFV capabilities. So one squad or one unit probably get attached with this, whereas everyone else would be in a lighter armoured thing. It just allows us to have a bit of a heavier punch and kick some ass without being over encumbered with stupid amounts of armour and being stupidly OP. Moving on. This one here, be known as a Leopard. It is in active service in the real world. Obviously this is an armorized version of it though. I think this one's got is it a 150 cannon or is it a 105 again? I forget. But again, it's got a big fucking tank killing gun on the front of it. And it also comes with a 7.62 and a 50 cal as well, I believe. Yeah, it does. So 7.62 on the barrel.
120mm.
120mm, sorry, thank you. So it packs more of a punch than the Merkava. And this is a tank in every sense of the word. Has a crew of 3, so driver, gunner and commander, same as that one there. However, this one cannot carry any crew. So during missions and stuff, we're likely to see these either being operated singularly or as a tank platoon, so up to 3 possibly. However, that's not going to happen until there's been a lot more training on them. Tonight we're not going to work on this one, but I just did want to have it out there for you guys to look at. Before we continue on then, if none of you guys have ever had a look with these tanks or had a mess about with them, not a mess about, but you know what I mean, a little play with them, do so now. We have 5 minutes. There's a big line of them there. All I ask is no one starts shooting the guns, just get in the seats, hop in and out, check the interiors and the backs of them and all that kind of stuff. So 5 minutes, go.
Falcon?
Hello.
Yes, something? Just out of curiosity, I see the pipe on the top. Is it actually capable of going in water?
No, that's
Take it easy.
sensors.
Cover that up there.
Blue, take that one. Gold will take this one. Hello.
Okay.
Your steak, pray.
I don't mind.
It's somewhere reduced up quickly, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, who's that in my little tank?
Don't-
You guys see the interior of this?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, is this the reskin one?
Grabbing a drink.
I can see the driver from here.
Yup. See you too.
And I can see someone behind me, fiddling with this joystick. Who's in the commander seat behind me?
That would be me.
Why are you fiddling with your joystick?
I'm controlling the turret.
Go to the normal inside view and just look down, because I can really see you playing with your joystick.
Yeah, I can see it.
Hey! And in the bottom left we got our driver, see? Can you see him?
Barely.
Now I could see him, I guess, a bit better than you can, but if we turn around we actually got a turret thingy.
There's a rear camera in the cockpit. Nice.
Moving to passengers, someone else can have a nose.
I beg your pardon?
Just swapping seats, so.
Ooh,
Have we done
commanders.
radio checks?
No.
Let's leave it for now.
Oh damn, the commander's got a bloody gun.
Yeah, it's quite cool. You've got the display as well.
I'm gonna turn out, just have a look at what it looks like when I'm doing out. Can the gunner turn out, actually?
Jumping out. I don't know.
Check.
Is that the reskinned one, would you?
What?
Is that the reskinned one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Looks really nice.
Actually,
Yeah.
can I have one for my birthday?
James, I'm gonna bring it back in.
We'll see.
Right, guys, fall back in, please, and stay calm.
Make sure engines go off, please.
It's Christmas anyway next.
I think it was front bottom.
Well, if 3-0 has the bigger one, the javelins.
Those are some sexy interiors.
Yeah, I like those.
Quite sexy.
People want to practice,
Very
they should come
advanced
join
for
the live
me.
server.
Or maybe have the smaller one and
So much to learn.
Tamagotchi only has 3 buttons.
Hey.
You're standing behind me. Damn it.
Stop saying I have 3 buttons.
Settle down, guys.
Who's left their engine on? It's a bastard. Alright. So, obviously you've all seen inside now, very pretty and all the rest, but Stabs, I hear you say, why don't we just use the RHS tanks? Well, personally, I quite like the fact that RG has custom stuff. and I want to kind of promote that a lot more. Also, if you were to spend 3 hours inside an RHS tank, you would probably be pretty fucking bored, because you'd just be looking at a little black letterbox for the most part. At least with these, there's something a bit more to look at. And the fact that the sounds work on these as well, unlike the RHS ones, which is interesting. The inventories at the moment, they're just standard vanilla stuff. However, after Christmas, they'll be adjusted to be a lot more customized for us. So the McCurva will have the kind of standard IFV loadout likely, and the tank will have some extras that are more applicable to a tank. So essentially, with the McCurva itself, we will use it very much like a warrior in the sense of assaulting and dismounting. So the drills would be pretty much the same with a few differences. What's one of the main dangers of
the overpressure?
Overpressure, that's the one. So the tactics have to be changed quite severely with the squad that's using the tank. Now, ideally, the infantry should be dismounting as normal. However, with this, whereas we'd normally pick a side on the warrior, either left or right, with this you'd probably want to have infantry dismounting left and right. So you've got 6 people each side. Oh, sorry, correction, 3 people each side. That is purely because the tank itself is not going to be following behind, because if it does, then you're just going to get overpressured to shit. It's kind of pointless, and it's just dangerous for you. So with this one, generally speaking, if it's an advance to contact, you would likely be following behind the tank, or certainly to the flanks within cover, and allowing the tank to spearhead it, particularly the McCurva anyway, on an infantry assault. What you don't want to find is any infantry at any point, I'm trying to find, past this kind of point. So not too far forward, not too far back, but you want it to be about there. It's highly unlikely that if you're moving along, the tank's going to swivel 90 degrees and fire off in that direction. If you're advancing, it needs to have the arc kind of, going in front of it, and you don't want to be anywhere near that. So never, ever, ever cross the kind of front portion of the vehicle there in a combat environment. That even goes for when you're kind of doing CQB stuff, which we'll go over in a little bit. But generally speaking, if you're on the ground and you're doing an advance, you'll have infantry at the side to protect the flanks, stop any sneaky RPG bastards catching up with you, and you don't push in front of it. CQB goes a bit different, which we'll do in a little bit. But for now, I'd like you guys to just have a practice just dismounting and remounting. So it works exactly the same. However, you're going to have one group going left, one group going right, and ideally you'd want to alternate it. So if I could have 6 volunteers. In fact, let's get some more. Follow me, north.
Come on, Blade, let's volunteer.
Alright. Stop there. Alright, 6 forward. Some volunteers of some description.
Yeah, already.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wunderbar. Alright, so if you kind of stack up just right behind the vehicle there, gents. Alright, if you guys close in a little bit so I'm not shouting. So I know it's pretty obvious what I'm asking you to do, but if I show it you, then I know for a fact I've shown it you properly.
2 lines are online.
Just
no, it's fine. Just gather up in a huddle. It's cool. Just move close to the vehicle as if you were getting out of it, but don't actually get out of it. Alright, so first man out, let's say it's Victor. He's got an AUR, so that makes sense. Alright, Victor's going right, so Victor would jump out the back of the tank, move to the right, fairly far away, further away than you would with an IFV. Reason being, it's a larger vehicle and it might need to make some evasive manoeuvres fairly quick. So Victor comes right to the right, goes to about
Right or
here.
left? Yeah.
I'm talking about if you were coming out, you go right. So left side of the tank, but out to the right. He takes a knee. Next man comes out and he takes a left this time.
Slate.
Again, gives it some distance. Takes a knee. Next man right goes right as he comes out. Kimbo goes left. Outlive goes right. Templar goes left. So with that, you've got fairly decent coverage to your flanks, and you've plenty clear away from the vehicle itself. So if that has to back up now or make some erratic manoeuvres, it's got plenty of room. The key part of this is giving it space to get around and move around. Again, it's not going to be used like a traditional tank, more of an IFV, but you just have to keep it in mind of that big fucking cannon at the front and the fact that it's going to be looking for higher threat targets. And because it's a beast in itself, the enemy will target that more than your IFVs as well. So you need to give that plenty of clearance. Now, when that starts moving forward, you obviously move with it. However, you'll have a kind of wedge on either side, or a 45-degree angle on each side. So if that's moving forward now, Victor's in the right spot, Riot would want to be dropping back about 10-15, and so on and so on. And the same on the other side. Perfect. So what you have then is a wedge formed with your tank being the spearhead. You all understand that?
Yep.
Right. And then re-embarking works exactly the same way, just in reverse. So you just peel in, tank would stay forward, you'd give it plenty of clearance, and you'd want to keep it in this kind of wedge fashion as well. Your arcs, when you're moving forward like this, you don't need to worry about the front. You're looking out to the left 45, and you're looking out to the right 45. The biggest threat to that vehicle is infantry, anti-tank weapons and that kind of thing. Anything bigger than that, like an actual vehicle or other tank or armoured fighting vehicle, they're probably going to locate first because it's got that huge arc at the front, almost a complete 180 arc if you're in that formation. All understand?
Yes.
Any questions? Bring it in, guys, thank you. Anybody have any questions? See, is there any points to make?
Just a reminder for the drivers, all you have to do is press the pedal or press W. The guys on the outside have all their kit and they've got to watch their sectors. So, you need to keep your speed down so they can move with the tank. Don't go shooting off ahead of them, because then you'll have no infantry screen either side of you. It's all about symbiosis between the infantry helping the tank and the tank helping the infantry. So drivers and gunners and commanders, I suppose, you need to be very aware of guys on the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will not live without them. They will not live without you.
Will, you got anything to add?
Not particularly. The only thing I did have a question is, if the tank has to retreat suddenly, say for example heavy RPG fire or similar, I'm assuming that the infantry's job pretty much is just get behind the tank as quickly as possible, or sorry, get rear of the tank, not behind the tank, as quickly as possible.
Essentially, yes. So what you do, you just use your normal peeling backwards kind of routine. So you'd be laying down the fire. If the tank's got to move back, it's because it's been overwhelmed with something, and if that's the case, then infantry need to bug out as well. However, infantry are a lot smaller targets, so the chances of you getting into cover quicker greatly increased than the big tank itself. But that's why you do the wedge, so you've automatically cleared of it. The tank can reverse, and even if he does have to swing the barrel, people are at a certain distance away, so overpressure is lessened. The overpressure risk is lessened greatly because your point man is much further forward and much lesser risk of getting that overpressure. So you'd stand up, you'd peel back, as we've done plenty of times on drills before. But that's something we can practice tonight. That's cool. Black Hawk, you got a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if the tank is moving back, does it actually have a camera to see it's not driving anyone over?
I believe these ones do, yes. I think the driver does have a reverse camera.
Yeah, copy that.
I've got a quick one for you, Stabs. It's more about code names for the vehicle. Are we to assume that the code name for the vehicle will be non-squad specific?
That's to be addressed at a later.
Let me just jump in. We don't have code names, Kimbo. We are not James Bond. We have call signs.
If they're being used, if the Makova's being used, just to answer that quickly, it's likely just going to be Arrow Vic, Blade Vic, because it will be built in to an armoured formation anyway. Likely. When we're using the bigger boys, I might be generous and let you give yourselves call signs, or I might just dictate them to you. We'll see. But at the moment, don't worry about it. They're just Arrow Victor, Blade Victor, Colours Victor, that kind of thing. Right. Okay, so instead of you all listening to me waffle on for a while, pick a vehicle each and I just want you to practice that dismounting drill, going from standing point to full speed to braking, and then dismounting as quick as you can. So what time have I got on my little in-game watch there? 0809. So let's say, we'll just give it 10 minutes. So 0820.
Roger.
Go now.
One we turned around for some dumb reason. That's right. Just remember you'll be with me.
Where do you want me to go?
Well, just give me a second. I'm just trying to figure something out. We've got enough space here, haven't we?
We should take one with a camera on it, just because they look cool.
No, we're okay. We're okay on this. We're okay on this. Right. So for tonight, like, I know we have a number system usually, but I can't be bothered to pull out my notepad, so I'm going to just go with the numbers being 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 along Shakhtar.
It's up to you when you call the stop.
I'm
It's up to
fine.
you when you call people to disembark.
Oh, I'm 6, right?
You have complete authority over the
Yep.
vehicle. If you say it goes in a certain direction, that's the way it goes. The driver is an extension of your thoughts.
Okay. So as for tonight, we're going to go for myself. Going to be Vic Commander. Shlee, you're going to be Commander on the ground or Leader on the ground. Templar Driver and Outlive Gunner. So Widgie and Victor, you need to listen to what Shlee's telling you to do on the ground. What?
Question?
Yeah.
I think Will wanted us to train the dismount first.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah, but I'm just letting you know that's the way it's going to rock tonight. So I'm going to be giving the orders in the vehicle. Shlee's going to be giving the orders on the ground. The people who get out are yourself and Victor. Understood?
Roger.
Okay, so that being said, if everyone wants to go and take the role in the vehicle. Right, can you hear me, driver?
Yeah.
Gunner, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me get in and out.
Second, mate.
Alright.
Right, Shlee, can you hear me, dude?
Yeah, should we have a radio check?
Yeah, let's go on, dude. Do a radio check for me, please.
Would you, can you start us off? Lima? We didn't get anything, Templar.
Bar 343, channel 2.
Lima?
Kimber 343, channel 2.
Lima? Shlee, 343, channel 2.
Lima?
Olive Radio 343 channel 2.
Lima.
Charlie?
Victor 343 channel 2.
Lima, Charlie.
Okay, boys. So, okay, we're going down the road. I'm happy that we're about to push into enemy territory. So I'm going to call driver stop. Which Templar will repeat the order. Aye, driver stop, or Roger, driver stop. One of the two.
Driver stop.
Shlee, disembark.
Can we number Widgie, Victor, then me? Or something like that. Or Widgie, me, Victor, yeah? Just in the number order.
Yeah, that's fine. Gunner, could you stop swinging the turret, please? Because you're making me feel sick.
Widgie, you're 1. I'm 2.
Roger.
Victor, you're 3.
Roger.
Are we going reverse or?
No, you'll be out first.
By the way, I'm the machine gunner. Should we
Yeah,
go?
everything fine here, thanks.
Okay, mount up. You right, Kimber?
I'm out. How should I call it?
Just peel back, so head behind Widge Hill and run back into the vehicle.
Yeah, just hold that 2 seconds. Yeah, okay. Just gotta be snappy, man. Gotta be quick. All right. Right, Blade. We'll try that again. This time, what we're gonna do is gonna push forward. So, let me know whenever it's in the Vic.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Jump in.
Just mount up, dude. Mount up.
All in.
Driver, push us out for 50 meters north.
Driver 50 meters, bearing 0.
Let's take a left, half left.
Half left.
That'll do. Right, let's go all out.
One out.
One out.
Right, driver, prepare to push forward for 20 meters, infantry pace. Go. Outlive, stop swinging the turret. Yeah, no, that's not. It's alright, mate. It's just getting losing my bearings. I've not been in this Vic yet. Right, hold. Right, hold comms. Right, infantry mount up.
Yielding.
Normally I would turn out so we can follow their movement during these trainings, but the gunner can't turn out.
Okay, mate, that's fine.
All in.
Driver.
Yeah, it's just not working.
Driver, turn vehicle round.
Guys, if you're happy with that, just bring it back in.
Vehicle 180.
See, now I'm not doing anything right now, but
That's fine. Go on, turn it round. Right, driver, push us back to where we started from.
Moving.
Take a slight right turn to fit in the gap, please, towards command. Hold vehicle. All crew, all passengers, disembark, engine off.
One out.
3 out.
I want to know if Kimber did the same.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, straight up pink. It's pink, right? But it's just all the colors are less bright, I think.
And yeah, the blue is the same, just lighter.
Yeah, the green as well. It's just like...
Yeah, it's a newer ace option. We'll have a look at it.
Right, gents, you all good with that, yeah?
Right, let's bring it in.
Yep.
That's awesome. Because of that, everyone...
Let's wait for the other guys to get back. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? It's just... It's going to get confusing for people, I think, when we're doing it with warriors and stuff as well, because you'll be doing something different if you have that vehicle in particular. But it's nothing to worry too much about. As long as you remember about that overpressure, it's all good. So, just wait for these other guys to come in. See, I noticed some of you did like just kind of patrolling with the vehicle trailing as well, which is good. What I want to do now is to go over the actual fire and movement phase, though, because obviously with a warrior behind you, it's pretty straightforward. You just act as normal as infantry, and the warrior creeps behind. With this, obviously, it's a little bit different, and you have to incorporate the fact that the vehicle's moving in front of you, because that is very much the tip of the spear. And just because the vehicle backs up sometimes doesn't mean you guys should. The vehicle just is a higher threat target, so you'd be able to slip in where... sorry, excuse me. The vehicle, the vehicle just be backing up and you guys will be able to slip into cover much more easily. So, what I've marked on the map is 2 lines. Pretty straightforward. What I'd like to do is have everyone mount up here, advance at full speed to the first line, disembark the infantry there, and then vehicles and infantry fire and movement up to that line, re-embark and come home for tier medals. Now, with the fire and movement, again, it's pretty standard stuff. You kind of stay in the formation that you are. The vehicle is moving at a constant, and the infantry are doing the fire and movement to each side of it. So infantry is still working on their own as such. However, the people giving the orders to move have to incorporate the fact that the vehicle's going as well. So you don't want to be left too far behind the vehicle, and again, you don't want to overtake it either. So a decent constant speed for the vehicles will probably be about 5 miles an hour, or between 5 and 10. That will allow people to sprint, but your bounds need to be pretty short, so you've always got enough stamina to catch up to the tank should you need to. So nice short bounds with the infantry, vehicle going nice and slowly, and you can go live fire on this one as well, just so gunners and people can actually understand the dangers, and we'll see how many people take injuries because they get too close to the main cannon. Everyone happy with that? Yep. Cool. Right, so grab a vehicle, form it up kind of in front of this here, and just check in when you're ready to go.
Right, boys, jump on our Vic.
I want to see lots of supporting fire come from the infantry as well.
Okay.
Kimbo?
Yes, mate.
Forward so you don't get nauseous.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's fine.
All squads just back up. You're just going to get a member of 3-0 attack onto each squad.
Right, hold the vehicle. Do not move the vehicle. Right, spin the vehicle for 180 degrees.
Alright guys, back up your vehicles closer to the mortar camp, and you need to be orientated northeast. Just go for arrow on the left, Dusak on the right.
Facing north.
Roger, hold position.
Dusak, just to reaffirm, it was
right.
Dusak on the right, yeah?
I need the vehicle to go. Wait one. Arrow, this is Blade.
Send.
Arrow, just tell us when you're ready for Blade to move, and we'll slot in to your right. Over.
Yeah, weird. Kimbo is actually north in the tank, but his voice is coming from the back.
Blade 0, you're clear to move.
Right, Templar, I need you to push us northeast. We're just hopping spaces to the right, basically. So face northeast, drive forward, and then I need you to back in and take Arrow's position that they've just vacated.
Roger that. Driver northeast forward.
Keep going.
Gunner going northeast as well.
Right, stop. Stop. Okay, face north and then back it all the way up.
Blade, do you want to come back again and move arrow? Yeah. Vegas, you want it?
Right, stop. Need you to face bearing 360.
We're currently doing 360.
Sorry, bearing 031.
Driver bearing 031.
Or Vix, you want to be orientated about 050. Blade, but let's back up a touch.
Right, back up for 10 meters.
Over 10 meters back.
This is Arrow. Wait one, we're gonna slightly adjust towards the northwest, so we're just a little bit further away from each other.
10 meters back.
That will do, mate. That'll do. Thanks. Wait one.
Alright, so just to repeat, when it's going full speed up to the line, disembark infantry there, move forward with the infantry doing fire and movement, tanks laying down, suppressing fire to the northwest. Make sure the infantry are firing as well. Let me know when set.
Right, boys. We're going to push forward.
Arrow set.
Blade set.
Cutlass set.
Then I'm going to give a command to hold. Then infantry are going to push out, and then infantry are going to provide
Just
support to the tank, and we will be doing this live fire. Confirm.
So you'd like live? You'd like us to do something?
All Vics, go, go, go.
Right, go, go, go.
I think this tank is out of stability. That's why it stays focused near the direction you're pointing.
Right, slow it down a bit. Slow it down a bit. I'll do good. Stop.
Stopped.
Right, disembark.
One out.
2 out. We're gonna move in a wedge formation.
Ceasefire.
Ceasefire. Gents, fire movement, you know the score. One team moves, the other team stationary, then they hold, and vice versa. Not everyone just walks slowly behind the tank. You know how it works, guys, so let's make it happen. Let me know when you're ready to restart.
Right, guys on the ground, we need to fire and move. So blue team would suppress, while red team move, and then red team suppress, and you know, it's bound in basically, but we do that behind the tank.
Yeah, Ashley said, guys, that's exactly what needs to happen. So I know we've only got one guy on blue team, but that's the way it's going to be. This is Blade set.
So I'm with the tank, and then setting, and then
Arrow set.
Move.
Roger.
Set. Shoot. Red team moves. When they set, you start to move. And all while the tank's moving. Roger. When you're ready, Kimber.
Right, blue hold, red suppress, go.
I go right.
No, hold. Hold. We're suppressing.
Right now, blue or red, one of you's got
Red moving.
Arrow, hold your vehicle, get your troops embarked.
Blue, push, red, stop. Check. Now hold, red, push, blue, stop.
Moving.
All units, re-embark, return to base. Ceasefire, ceasefire.
Right, ceasefire, everybody back in the Vic, and then RTV.
Rebuilding.
Peel, let's peel. Go, go, go!
Right, orientate the tank 180 degrees facing the opposite direction.
Average around.
Okay, push forward then back to our previous position. So keep going forward.
Forward full speed.
Watch the vehicle on the left.
Cannot see it, Kimbo.
Slow, 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 slow. Stop, stop.
He cut into our, yeah, he cut into us then.
I'm going to gather everyone up real quick, and then we're going to redo that.
Right, face the vehicle the way we've just come from, please.
Average around.
Right. Right, engine off, everyone disembark.
Whoever was in that vehicle needs to watch what they're driving.
You sound.
Again?
Doesn't matter.
Dude, I've got like a little slit in my screen I can see forward. If somebody's gonna drive into me, like...
There is, I don't know how to...
Control 2. Just take the mag out.
There's actually, yeah, 3 levels of safety.
Yep.
There's 3. Oh, with the mag. Okay.
Yeah, you have Control F, Control tilde, and mag out.
Control F doesn't work on the AUR.
It's Shift F.
Stepcon?
Hello?
Am I right in that the handbrake doesn't work?
Oh, that's fine.
What?
Control F for me. That the handbrake doesn't work in it?
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
AUR.
Oh, it's,
okay.
oh,
Well, Control tilde should.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
a tank.
It's tracked, mate. It's no handbrake. You just hit fucking S. And hope
Hit
to
stop.
God.
Right. Okay, not quite sure what fell apart then. You all know how to bound, you all know fire and movement by now, or you certainly should do. If you don't, then there's something seriously wrong. What I want to do that again, but it needs to be a lot more snappy. You know the basics of fire and movement, the mantra, you know, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. Very, very short bounds. As I said before, you need to maintain your stamina, so getting up and sprinting for 30 seconds is not good. You want to be 10-15 seconds maximum, absolute maximum, before you're getting back down on your belly and just putting down suppressive fire. Standing in the middle, just blatting off rounds, taking a nice casual stroll, is just going to get you all killed, as well as the tank and everything else around you. You've got to be sprinting, you've got to be snappy, because otherwise you're just going to get shredded. The tank moving at that speed is a very, very vulnerable target, despite the fact it's putting down a load of fire, and you guys are as well. But it only takes one person that's not getting engaged to start sniping you one at a time. Alright? So we'll do it again. You're getting out either side, individual teams. As soon as one moves, the other one's getting ready to move. That team goes down, the next one gets up and sprints. Okay?
Roger that.
You're obviously going to be trailing behind the vehicle, but that's fine. That's the idea. Don't feel like you have to keep up to the front of the vehicle, because that's not the case at all. You know, that vehicle is in front of you. And I'll also suggest just spreading out a little bit now. I think that caused a bit of confusion at the start. So get spread out. Make sure you've got plenty of space between the vehicles. Commanders, swipe left, scan left and right, make sure there's plenty of space, enough space for you guys to get out. If you are a little bit bunched up, just don't space out as much. Alright, so quickly get back on your vehicles now. We're going to go through that once more, and don't be scared to use the main gun either. Shit. It's a fucking tank, use it.
Are you heard him, guys?
Timbo?
Yes.
Just a quick message. Normally, I can behave slightly unanimous, whatever the word is, but I cannot turn out. Therefore, I cannot see anything. You have to be very specific with me.
Roger. Comms check.
Heard.
Check.
Right. Outlive.
Yes.
Keep the main gun tracking to the front of the vehicle at all times until I tell you to get a bearing, otherwise. Acknowledge?
For your knowledge, I also have a 7.62mm cannon gun.
Roger that. Okay, dude.
And I believe that you as a commander has a 50 cal on top as well, so we've got 2 machine guns basically.
Templar, pull the vehicle.
Arrows set.
Pull the vehicle back about 5 meters, please.
Driver back, so.
Set. Blade set.
Listen.
Dosak set.
Roger, all set. When you're advancing, bearing of 050.
Right, we've got a new bearing
Go.
of 050.
Driver 050.
Go.
Forward half.
Stop in 3, 2, 1. Stop.
Driver stop.
Get the guys out.
Use
Use the main 50 cal to suppress forward, please.
Be out.
Ground team set.
Let's get these vehicles moving, guys. They're now good station.
Red team covering. Moving. Holy shit. Move in. Let's go.
Alright, stop healing you guys in towards your back of your vehicles now. Vehicles hold. The extreme left and right, you want to start peeling
Start up.
into the back and get them in, mounted in your vehicle.
Let's bar up, ground team. Peel and bar up. Victor, you need to bar up.
Let's go quicker than this. As soon as the last man's passed, get the other man moving.
Where'd you go?
All in.
All in.
As soon as everyone's mounted, pop smoke and then full reverse.
Driver, gunner, pop smoke, please.
Commander, pop smoke.
Commander, pop smoke.
Done.
I think you fired your machine gun up top.
And RTB, gather up.
Okay, guys, spin round. The vehicle spin round 180.
Driver turn around. I'm gonna go forward, seeing as everyone's going forward. I'm keeping this heading. Please tell me if somebody's gonna crash into me.
Roger. Keep the gun tracked, please, with the front of the vehicle. Okay, that'll do. You're okay. You're okay. Keep going forward. Point that main cannon away from command, please.
It's aimed at the end.
Good, stop. Engine off. All passengers and crew out.
Alright, points and comments from each squad then. Let's start with Arrow.
Right, looking at the speeds, we first tried 10, which was slightly too fast. We tried 8, which still seemed a little bit too fast. We ended up with 5 kilometers per hour. Seemed like a good speed. Yeah, as you said on radio, the peeling back in was a little bit too slow. I'm guessing some people were low on stamina.
We weren't running in front of it then.
Yeah,
But
fair
anyway,
enough.
yeah, that's it.
No, cool. Yep. So 5, you reckon, is a pretty good number. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Blade, points, comments, questions.
Probably off the mark. Some squads were out ahead of others. I think obviously when we got to the disembark point, it was noticeable because there were squads pushing ahead of other vehicles, and just it's quite hard from the commander's point of view because you're kind of limited to where the gunner's looking in the sense of if you turned out. So that was a bit of a difficulty to try and get your head around at first, trying to communicate that. Also, the main cannon, yeah, it's okay to use it if your guys are behind you, but it's not necessarily going to be just your guys that are in the AO, so you have to literally, before you release that main cannon, make sure that there's no person who's going to get hit by the compression. But then, other than that, it didn't look too bad.
Cutlass.
Everything ran smooth, and really nothing to add aside from what's already said.
Cool. Does that?
A lot of everything covered, yeah. Definitely Echo Cruisers on the speed there. You have 5 for if you're just walking and 7 for jogging from what Ben found out. And we kept it at a constant 5 and it seemed to work well. So yeah, not much to add, that's already been mentioned.
Cool. Vegas, anything?
Nothing to add from us.
Sweet. Just a few points, because obviously we've got the bird's eye view. Bounding should be sprinting, not jogging. That's the main one. Second, if you're on an assault, being turned out is probably a dumb fucking idea. You should be battening down as you get into the assault and staying battened down until the end, because if the commander goes down, the vehicle goes down, essentially. What Kimbo said about the not just looking after your own squad is absolutely true. With this thing, you have to be very, very aware of where everyone is. The main thing I want to get across to the vehicle crews, especially with this, much more so than the Warrior or the Bradley, is that vehicle is an extension of the commander's mind. Unless the commander says shoot, you don't shoot. Unless the commander says turn, you don't turn. You don't do a goddamn thing unless the commander says, because he's got the best overall perspective of what's going on. He's got the best view, he's got the best comms, and all the rest of it. So nothing happens without him saying so. If he says target, then the gunner finds the target. The only time that's different is if the gunner has a threat directly in his sights and it's a big threat and it's clear to fire. Other than that, it all goes through the commander. I know that you guys are a bit more liberal with the Warrior and the Bradley, and that's fine because we don't have the risk of overpressure. But with these things, it's a big, big risk. I know one person went down, won't name names, Henrik, but you went too far forward. It's as simple as that. You went too far forward, you got hit by overpressure, and that you didn't even appear that far forward, I'm sure, and you thought you were in a safe zone. you now know that you're not in a safe zone. If you go too far forward on these things, you're fucked. And the gunners need to be, well, everyone needs to be painfully aware of that. And I'm sure we'll see mistakes happen and things, but like I say, it's imperative that everyone knows that that vehicle doesn't do anything unless the commander says so. And the infantry, by and large, are an extension of that. You're responsible for the protection of that vehicle and protection of the commander. So you might not think you're doing much by being either side of it, but trust me, you are, because it doesn't take much to take these things down. A couple of RPGs to the side, or one lucky RPG and knocks its tracks out, that whole vehicle's useless. Useless to everyone. Now, obviously, doing that movement is not going to be a usual thing, but it's important to know the drills because it's important to know how to act around the tank. The next thing we'll do is move on to a more urbanized environment, and we'll take the infantry only to start with, and we'll go through some stuff. What I'd like for the next kind of 10-15 minutes is for the vehicle crews to get a lot more familiar with these, go over the systems, go over the optics, and have a drive around and practice being an extension of the commander's mind. So only turning where you're supposed to turn, you know, reversing forward, gunner facing certain ways, etc., etc. Vehicle crews, go off and do that now. Well, could you set up a teleport, please?
Oh, teleport. Surely with me.
You want 3-0 on the spots still?
No, jump in a bit. Paros, please.
Shay?
Bravo.
Yes.
It's just the vehicle crew he wants. Everyone else is supposed to go with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some. Oh, who needs it? I see. Right.
I think.
In fact, no. You guys come with us. You guys come with us. You can do the driving whilst the infantry do the escorting.
Roger.
That's all whisper. That's fine.
There we go.
Thank.
We got a TP down, will
you? Yeah.
Close to.
And then it is.
Oh, it's not two vehicles.
It's there now.
Cool, perfect. Right, infantry. There's a teleporter. Use that teleporter, and we'll gather on to the side.
Boat. Yeah, I joined the group to take it easy.
Come over this
just
side.
to see where I'm at.
That doesn't fit the street.
Right, gents. So, the open areas and stuff like that, tanks are the spear points, so to speak. Even assaulting a town to a certain degree, a tank is the spearhead. You know, everyone can gather up behind it. I'm sure you've all seen like Full Metal Jacket, where they're all following the tanks into the town. That's still a very viable tactic because it affords the.
Our vehicle is going to be crossing from right to left across your line of travel.
Roger. It's going to do my head in that, so let me just turn that radio right now.
We free to fire on these invaders?
This is Gamble, that's an A firm.
So, if you've all seen Full Metal Jacket, then you'll know the score. You kind of, your teams stack up behind the tanks, and you get rolled into the town, and it's all good. You know, you've got some protection to the front. However, when you start going through hospitable terrain such as this, where there's windows, there's nooks and crannies, there's absolutely no way whatsoever that a tank can cover everywhere and be safe, which is where the infantry comes in. Infantry in these environments tends to go first, and what they do is secure forward junctions. They have eyes on windows and all that kind of stuff. So this kind of area is a prime example, really. If you look around here, so the tank's rolling down the hill. There's obviously an alleyway up to the left. there's an open area over to the right there, and right in front there's a shitload of buildings that you could have an RPG in or anything like that. And there's also one other big threat, which is mines/IEDs, which is always an issue for sure. So, how many people have we got here now?
Three from Brad.
We've got several people. So if you're just kind of were to act as one big squad, shall we say, for this purpose, because, you know, the team that works together and all that. Right, so if you were coming down this hill, let's take this next junction. So if you get into kind of a staggered formation, very close together, so let's have people on either side of the road. You can all still hear me though. Kind of squeeze up for now. Just want equal numbers on either side. You'll still hear me all right?
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So, ignoring this one, we'll ignore that to start with. What would happen is we'd be patrolling down the road, you know, so just start walking forward. We're going to ignore these two open areas for a start. To start with, there's one further down. Alright, we have coming up a road going to the left and a road going to the right. So when we get here, okay, so right side, left side, you'd halt, you'd take a knee, point man would get up on the corner, just there, facing up. Next man would then cross. All this time, this side, the other side holds, because you don't know what's going forward yet. You want to be set up, facing up the road as well, mate? Okay. Alright, so that is now covered, essentially. This allows this side to start moving and keep moving. And now you've got a similar thing again. So first man would sit and get set up on the corner there. Second man crosses and also sets up. So you've got two sets of eyes looking down the area of threat, essentially. The rest of them stack up and wait. So everyone else at this point can kind of close up. Now, and I'll have to do some Zeusing, but just give me a second. So we've got it. These areas secured, the tank would move up, would pass these threats, and it would hold. Once that's done, because your tank's now moved up and it's past the threat, people would get up. So the point man, so the first man to take a knee, would get up, would cross, and the next man would take his position. And that would be happening on both sides. Next man would cross over. Would set up where Quandez is. Quandez and Schleeg would carry on patrolling, and everyone carries on patrolling now, but you always want two pairs of eyes going down those high threat areas. Crossing.
So do we switch again?
So yeah, you take it down. Because you're keeping your kind of marching order, if you like.
Opening right.
So next man crosses, next man
Crossing.
Take a rep.
Crossing.
Come across.
Go
So
ahead.
Wesley would move. So Owen can carry on, and now last man comes across. Alright, good. Okay, so if we all just get in a nice little line again, like on either side, so you can see what's going on. Just gather back up. Alright, so moving down the road, that was good. That's exactly what you want to do. You want two pairs of eyes looking down those gaps. Not every single gap has to be done like that, but particularly roads and wide areas where you need two pairs of eyes. You know, one checking windows, one checking the gap itself, etc., etc. Now, when you're going down the road, what should you be looking at, or which direction should you be looking if you're on the kind of left-hand side?
The right-hand side.
Technically, yes, but it's also a bit of both. That was a bit of a trick question, I know. So yeah, essentially, if you're on the left-hand side, so Henrik, Quandes, whatever, you're obviously looking to the front, and you're also checking to your left as well, right? Left, right, yeah. So you're checking all over. However, you've also got responsibility to be looking up at the top floor windows on the right-hand side and keep scanning them and checking them. Why is that?
Because you have better visual.
Yes, you have much better visual. The guys that are directly underneath them cannot see those windows. Likewise, you've got to have faith that the people on the opposite side are going to be checking your top floor windows as well and scanning. So don't get tunnel vision and be looking in, only the direction you think you should be going. You need to be looking at any possible threat, because it only takes a split second for someone to pop up and put a javelin down. So what I want to just see now is, let's just move a bit further down. Obviously we can see there's a big gap on the right there. I want to see how you guys deal with that, but I also want to see, how people are looking around and stuff. So let's just go forward about 100 meters and then we'll hold.
Moving it. Opening right.
30, if you want to just jump in the vehicle and just follow it down.
Should I smoke and cross? Oh.
Yeah, sounds good. Not sure about the wind direction though.
Set.
There's a tree
Smoking.
middle.
First, throw smoke.
Yeah, go for it.
Smoking.
Start crossing.
Wait for it to build up a little bit.
Alright, crossing.
Next man.
Yeah, crossing.
Crossing.
Crossing. Rear peeling off. Crossing. Last man.
Copy.
Not quite, but last man.
Go.
Last man.
Set to move on.
Right, crossing.
Crossing.
Setting up.
Ashley, we got a huge open area to the right.
Crossing.
Don't
And
have
we got a building to the right that is close.
Last man crossing.
Roger. Sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm saying there's a house close to us on the right side.
Yeah, should we push toward it?
Yeah, copy. Bound to that, Victor.
Okay.
Then cover the
Alright.
command.
Go.
Pushing.
Moving.
Set.
Set.
Go.
Crossing.
Yes, go. Go.
Right, you just do this
Are you
next
set,
one.
Victor?
Yeah, I'm set.
I'm crossing to that wall.
Alright.
Last man, go.
Cover it.
Oh, you're a bit too eager there, Quandes. You should have set up on that
Steve,
wall.
move on.
Copy that.
Adashi, can you push toward to the next guy over there?
Moving.
To the east.
Roger, pushing.
Alright, bring it in, guys.
Bring it in.
Okay, bring it in.
Go, bring it in.
Let's go. Sorry, stand down, stand down. Engine off. Alright. So, as you can see, movements like that, they take time and they take practice. Gather around, guys. Gather around, don't be all spread out. So they take time and they do take practice. Obviously, moving like that only really needs to be done, if I'm honest, if the area is extremely high threat, as in you've already taken contact there and you just need to move through the town. and you need to do it quickly and safely. Or a full-on CQB environment where you're clearing everything. Obviously, a tank is pretty much no use in an environment like this unless you want to flatten the entire thing, and then you can just reduce buildings to rubble. But we try and avoid that. So you have to kind of do that methodically. The difficult parts get when you have areas like you've seen. So there's like, is that an obstacle or is that just an area? And the same, like, if you look on behind you there, like that way, that is a completely different problem to this. That is such an open area that because there's not really any end point to it, you'd probably be better off just patrolling forward with the vehicle following behind, because you can have eyes out in that direction. Whereas this, because it's such a bottleneck, it'd be very easy for someone just to peek around the corner, fire something off, and then disappear again, which is why you need that security. So, like, really good that you went in depth onto that building. That's perfect. But the problem is, if you kept following that, you'd end up like in the other town. Where does it end? You have to make the call sometimes as the point man or as the NCO or whatever, just to be like, okay, this isn't an area that we can properly cover, so it's probably best just to get moving and get past it until we can get, out of here, essentially. Bottlenecks, roads, things like that, major issues because they're so easy for someone to peek, which I'm sure you've all seen before with vehicles. It takes a split second for an RPG to get loose stuff. AI are sneaky fucks. But a big area like that, chances are you're going to see them before they actually get the shot off. So it might be better just to kind of go past. However, movements are good and solid, and that's the kind of thing that you need to do when you have any kind of vehicle going through a town. Have two eyes going down these kind of bottlenecks or corridors as much as you can. Make sure you're scanning the top windows on the opposite side of the road, and that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Sort of, when you actually do a crossing, it sort of feels more natural to do a peel than just sort of swapping places with the
Sorry,
next
I have
guy.
to say it again because you broke up quite a lot there.
Oh, sorry. When you do a crossing, it sort of feels more natural to do a peel than just swapping places with the next guy. Is that something?
It is. It might feel more natural. However, if you have your squad set up in a particular order of march, for example, from one end to the next end, you're going to be all over the fucking place. Your point man is going to be at the back. Your grenadier is going to be at the back. Your squad leader could be fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
if you're literally doing it like, imagine how a snake moves. Its back end comes up and then the head goes. The back end comes up, then the head goes. That's how you want it to be. It's like what's it called? An accordion, if you like. That's how your moves need to be an obstacle like that. So whilst peeling works and is very effective at getting bodies down quickly, if you have a particular order, which most of you tend to, or you certainly should anyway, that's a more appropriate way to do it because it keeps people where they're supposed to be and where you want them. The last thing you want in an environment like this is your AUR being point man, because that's not useful, So do the swapping places more so than peeling as much as you can. However, I'm not exactly going to come down on people and say, oh, you're supposed to swap places, not peel. As long as you're getting those two eyes down, that's the most important thing. But do get into the habit of swapping out the positions rather than moving past them if you can. Anybody, any other comments, problems, issues, or questions?
Just a small thing. As the most tracked vehicles, they will stop when they reach 7 kilometers. That's the only thing.
What?
Tracked vehicles have a tendency to do a halt if you get at 7 kilometers or below.
Yeah.
The tracks will just... Yeah, that's just a small thing I want to say.
Yeah. When it comes to the vehicles, I'm going to be relying on you guys now to pass on what you've just done, because at the end of the day, when going through an environment like this, the vehicle is secondary. You are in charge of how that vehicle proceeds forward and stuff like that. If you're not happy for that vehicle to go forward, you don't let it go forward. So you either get in radio comms with them, which hopefully these particular types you will be, or there is obviously the infantry phones at the back that you can, as a squad leader or as any old grunt, you can run to the back of the tank and be like, yeah, we've got problems up ahead, you know, hold the vehicle there, or whatever, you know? So, big open areas, vehicle spearheads, built up areas like this, you guys go first and clear the way. If any kind of IED or anything gets found, then it's obviously normal drills. Don't get too concerned about the fact that it's a tank rather than a Humvee or whatever else. The same principle applies. You wouldn't just drive a Humvee through a massively built up area that's actively shooting at you. So you wouldn't do it with the tank either, because that's going to make a bigger explosion. Give me 1 second. Right, so on that note, what I reckon we do, as we've got Vegas Vic here as well, we reset that now, and we'll do it the opposite way, and I just want you to go through that flow. Right, so Vegas, if you wouldn't mind crewing your vehicle again and basically following the infantry behind, and if you get your infantry to kind of follow on, and you'll see what we've just gone over. But it's pretty standard stuff.
Roger, okay.
There's another vehicle here as well.
Actually, I have a good.
Do you want
just
take one right? Do you want both the tanks, or do you just want out, just the one? Bring the rest of our guys in as.
Might as well have two if you practice. If you both use practicing, that's fine.
Okay.
Can use
Roger.
two. Hello, guys. That's so much.
Yeah,
so basically,
sorry,
we're all going to crew
I have a
ourselves.
question. So when we come to like an open area like this on the right side, what would be the best course of action? Still kind of try and peel from building to
Well,
building?
like I said
or...
before, because that's such a big open area, the chances of getting eyes on and secured like we have on the smaller bottlenecks is slim to none. So your better course of action is probably just to get across it as quickly as you can, with as many eyes out that way as possible. Don't worry about the big areas like that for now. Worry about the bottlenecks, like I said. So if we do the same again, guys, just go on either side of the road, move up, and then tanks follow behind. And again, the tanks only move past the junction when the infantry have secured it and cleared it. Alright?
Right,
do that now. We're going to be heading into the southwest. So you can both jump on either side of the road now.
Basically, we're going to follow up with the two tanks behind the infantry, and they're going to be
need to
basically
go out
clearing the front way for us,
my
and
car.
we move up when it's clear, kind of thing.
Yeah, landlord not so happy. Yep, BRB.
Do you want to walk up behind Caesar? Or...
Right, had a gun point.
No, it's cool.
I'll take 6.
Well, you were just here, so
Alright,
as well.
arrow 6.
That's fine. We in the tanks, or we walking up?
Well, if you want, I mean, the tanks will be.
I think we're all acting as one
for these
unit.
guys. But if you want to get some practice escort in the tank through, then tag your infantry on the back.
Back to the original teams. Everyone who was whatever the infantry team going between me and Wright will be the crew.
So to go stabs.
Roger that. Just go as infantry. Infantry, yeah.
Roger that.
Just for now.
Ground team set to move.
Alright, so just hold on. We'll just wait for this vehicle to get on the road.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were just going to get us to dismount.
Holding for now.
Just desync back. That was weird.
He's in on the driver's seat.
I can't get in. Alright, blue. Yeah.
That is a good point. I can't get in. See any pardoning.
Right, so there's 7 at this side right now.
Vegas have lost their keys for their tank, Solaris.
Behind Obi.
Yeah.
Yeah, right needed parting.
Yeah, I was thinking about going behind you.
I don't know why I
was
need
waiting
to
for the
party.
tank.
I haven't killed anyone, I promise.
So I'm not getting roadkill.
I
got
can't
time.
get in now, funnily enough.
Pardon me. I'll do it. No, you're good, never mind. Pardon?
Alright, so don't worry about the spaces too much on this one, guys. It's the movements that we want to
Now you are, yeah.
focus on.
Yeah, we wouldn't be moving in this larger force anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what we kind of want to do, because if we do have vehicles like this, there's obviously a convoy of vehicles and a lot of infantry, so we can technically, you know, get a tight convoy through fairly quick.
We'll be split into the squads, that's all. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just getting the tank to
Right, if you
Control
pull your
chaos.
Vic on the road when ready, mate.
Love that. Sounds like my life. Except for the control part.
I was going to say, there's nothing about your life that's controlled.
That is exactly true. It's just
Okay,
chaos.
so again, just a reminder, like, both sides are working independently, but make sure you're covering the opposite side, top windows, etc. Alright, start moving forward when you're ready then, boys.
Gap
Black, how the guy move out? Crossing. Set.
Switch. Hello guys, switch.
Yeah, switching.
Crossing.
Crossing.
Open area to the right, left.
Same, moving.
Crossing.
Bring them
Switch.
Covering.
I'm gonna get into better cover.
Right, so Quandos, yeah, you're okay now. You can get up and move to the next one. Right, let's make sure we've got 2 eyes down that slide, that's it. Right, needs to be fluid, Next man over.
Crossing over. Keep moving, steady.
Yeah.
Crossing.
Okay, come on, keep going, first man, keep going.
Give them space. Taking over. Actually, we can move now.
Yeah, once the last guy's passed.
Alright, I'm walking.
Last man crossing.
Herod.
Last man.
Yeah, push past.
Crossing.
Past. Just go past healer. I'm passing you healer. Crossing.
Crossing.
Tag on the outer.
Crossing.
Last man.
Yeah, don't worry.
Roger. Sam, you're clear to cross.
Crossing. Last man.
Crossing.
Copy.
Crossing.
Sleep, right?
Come on guys, bit of a buzz
Crossing.
here, it should be going a lot quicker.
Crossing.
Move on, how the guy.
Switch.
Crossing.
Right guys, if you just hold there, if you look to your right now, you see that you've overshot the others. That's something to watch out for when you're doing it as well. Make sure you're not exposed from
Roger.
one side.
Yeah, that's something again that brings one when the individual squad.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So if you should ever moving us, I'll talk about it afterwards. But yeah, it's a good one. Bring it to a hold there, guys. Bring it to a hold. We'll gather up.
Up front.
Gather round, gentlemen. Moldy. Alright guys, so looks good. It's slow, it's steady, but it is secure, and it's one of the most effective ways to get through it. As I said, if you're guaranteed to take contact, that's when you employ those tactics. Just going through a town, you don't have to be quite so, vigilant, but if you know you're expecting contact, that is the best way to do it, and that's on any vehicle, not just a tank. But with a tank, you have the added problem of they can't swing the barrel around and just start blowing things away because you're all going to die pretty quickly. So you have to be extremely, extremely vigilant when you're escorting armor through a built-up location like this. We will always try our best to make sure tanks don't get sucked into an environment like this, but sometimes it's inevitable that it's going to happen. A couple of things that we spotted going up is you have to be careful of one side of the road springboarding past the other. As Taro rightly pointed out, it's much easier to control if it's just a squad. However, if we're moving through as a platoon, you do have to be aware of where the other side of the road is, because here's a perfect example. If you're kind of clearing on this side and you've moved up to this side, but this side hasn't been done yet, like, not only is the tank exposed, but the infantry is massively exposed from that side as well. And you could just have a big death fest because you only had one flank covered. So you got to make sure you move up evenly, and the tank's moving only where you've covered and cleared. But again, just because you've gone past it and cleared it doesn't mean it's going to be safe forever. So the tank moves past before you guys have finished crossing the road, if that makes sense. Again, with big wide open areas and stuff, you don't need to worry too much because you can't possibly cover that with two guys. You're just leaving one guy exposed. 2 rifles is probably not going to be enough to cover huge expanses of ground. So with that, you're probably better off just getting a patrol across there as quick as you possibly can, moving with the vehicle itself. Does anyone have questions or points or problems? Fantastic. Right. Now the infantry know what they're going to do. Vehicle crews are a bit more familiar with what they're going to do. We have this nice little town to play in for the next kind of 10 minutes. I know we're not going to finish off with bangs and stuff like that, but this is important. So get your squads together, and I just want you to kind of drive around, clear, work together, work as a team. If you come across another squad, figure out how to do that, because that might happen in reality. All that kind of good stuff. So break away now, just pick a road, kind of move up and down it, clear it a few times for the last 15 minutes, and make sure you're all comfortable moving and working with the vehicles. Don't forget you've got the infantry phone at the back. If it is a different squad, if you do come across another squad, you can communicate. Alright? Cool. Do that now.
Kelplas is heading out south.
There, let's go southwest.
They just go northwest.
Southwest.
I'm guessing you didn't bring your vehicles up here, did you? Put a couple down.
Are we gonna do
if you want to practice going
like
through
a
urban areas?
vehicle, like just be
No, we're not going to do that, mate.
You remember how we did CQB, well, urban training with light warriors and stuff like that in infantry?
Mm-hmm.
It was that basically.
Oh, I understand, but we need Zivik for that. Ooh.
I think Stabs are sorting it out.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
So green.
Vehicles to the south.
It looks almost like a toy tank.
Yeah, just hold fire, mate, because that's another. There's 2 squads over there by the look of it.
If you bump, you know that the people are in the right place. Your grenadiers at the front,
Oh, okay.
engineers at the front, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's fair. I used to.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. No worries.
Infantry, we're just going to follow the tank out.
Yeah, roger that, actually. I'm hoping to push up the road northwest.
Alright, taking it going.
Yeah, we'll take the right side, would you? Do you want to take point, Victor?
Alright.
Are you okay taking the left?
Well, it's gonna be hard to
cover a corner.
Proper movement. So I think it's better to do one side properly.
I agree. I
Just for
agree
training.
completely.
Yeah.
Do we have the one on the left?
We're just gonna ignore the left side. Kimbo, because we've got few numbers, we're just gonna cover the right hand side.
Yeah, roger that. Cool. On your go, we'll start pushing up this road.
Right, let's do it. Stepping off.
Pushing.
Stepping off.
Covering right.
Opening right. Moving.
So you overtake me and then I'll catch up.
Victor, you're always the point man, so Widgie relieves you.
Pushing. Crossing.
Hold up. Normally, Widgie, you'd cover the corner, let the tank cross, and then move back over.
Oh yeah. Let's say it's
move the
someone
tank
else
up.
then.
Let's move the tank up and pretend that happened, and we'll try it on the next scar.
Roger that. Vic's moving. We're going to hold as soon as we level.
Step off, Victor.
Yeah, I'm covering this gap, yeah.
Okay, copy that. The vehicle doesn't have to worry about that.
Okay, crossing.
Yep.
Vic crossing.
Let's keep this going. Widgie, let's go.
Covering alleyway. Wiggy. Crossing.
At the corner. Corner.
Vehicle holding.
Holding corner.
Recommend we go on this as a normal foot patrol. It's too open.
Yeah, roger that. Let's do
Step off, would you?
echelon right.
Sorry, Victor.
Echelon right.
Just you know,
Right,
walk
right.
off.
Yeah, just do column. Careful! There's a tank there.
Sorry.
Old vehicle. He is veering off the road. The road is bearing 220.
Yeah, roger that.
Clear vehicle.
So turn slightly left, like half left.
Sorry, echelon right is so the one closest to the tank is in front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echelon is just
Prepare.
right side of the tank.
Full right.
In a column.
Stay clear of the vehicles.
It's just Kimbo being Kimbo.
Friendly vehicle south.
You're leaning clean. There we go.
Thinking about.
Good.
Be advised, if Arrow turn right down that road, I want our tank to stand 180 degrees and going down the road they've just come from. Acknowledge.
Copy that.
Driver acknowledge.
Do a 360 and continue. Recommend we U-turn. Right now.
Yeah, roger that.
Wait, am I supposed to take point?
Nah, you'll be on point once it turns round.
Right.
Vehicles turning.
Beautiful.
We going?
Try and
Charge!
stay, just follow the road as best you can, Tim.
What are the chances of getting PIP in the back, would you? On the tanks?
Getting what?
The picture-in-picture stuff?
Right, hold.
pretty slim, I think.
Okay.
I think that's gonna... You have to sort of decode the model and get other shit in there.
Okay, it's a Cody job.
Yeah. Well, it's some config in it, but to actually get a picture-in-picture, you have to...
Let's check map.
Modeling. Actually have the source files for the 3D model.
Guys, listen up, check map. So everybody mount on the vehicle, and we're to move to the move marker that's marked to the south of our position. Let's get it done.
Alright.
Driver.
You can see the screens right where you should do it.
Driver forward, full speed.
Driver forward, full speed.
You could probably do some hacks.
That's it, south, follow the road south.
Attach something there and yeah.
You want the driver view and the gunner view.
You're gonna come to a junction in a minute, a T junction. You want to hang right at the T junction. T junction approaching now. Turn right. Keep your bearing, go off road. Turn left, head south. Right.
Driver south.
Left again.
Driver left.
Half left. Round the side of this building, yeah, that's good. Right, hold, slow down, you're going to see other tanks. Form up on the road, please.
At the back or in the middle? At the back or in the middle?
Just wait one minute, I'm trying to find out what the fuck they're doing. Right, just form up in front of Arrow's vehicle, which is direct left of us. So push forward.
I'll have to get moving.
Push forward, push forward, push forward, push forward.
You, yeah, you currently aren't turned out. You're in the camera seat, right?
No, dude, I'm turned out. What's the matter?
Oh, okay, because I'm looking at the where your camera is facing, and if I turn around now, it doesn't swivel the camera around, and it did that earlier on. So
oh, hold comms, mate. Hold comms.
I wonder where that sunshine is coming from.
Gonna face
we're in a fucking tank.
90 degrees left. Left.
90 degrees left. Okay.
Your arc is 180.
It's my divine presence.
Of the convoy.
Yeah, it must be.
Roger.
Because and electricity.
Right, guys, we're prepping to move out. Outlive. Templar, just follow the vehicle in front.
Lead Vic heading out. Speed will be 50.
Speed's 50.
Speed 50.
Outlive. Be very careful of any lamppost to the left.
I can't see them from this position.
Yeah, but be prepared for me to call you. Keep scanning your arc at the left of the vehicle.
I will. Which gun? Do you want primary or secondary gun to be prepared?
Which is rage quit.
Would you rage quit?
We weren't appreciating his reskin enough. Nah, I don't know, he's just a sniper.
Can we actually get stuck on lamppost with the cannon?
I don't know, dude. Dude, do me a massive favour.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Just keep comms, mate. Just keep comms, please.
outlive with the turret, you want to keep it as like, you know, you don't want to be looking around as much. It's Kimbo's job, the commander's job, to tell you where to point the cannon, because if you move in and you turn it off and Kimbo says, right, you driver go in this direction, and you turn the cannon in a random direction that hits a tree, well, it's armoured, you just flip the tank.
Oh, I realise actually, but I'm looking at the left arc.
Sorry, yeah, just keep scanning your left arc. Don't move the gun anywhere from that left arc until I've told you otherwise. Just keep comms really quiet, because I've got to pass information on very quickly, and if you're mid-conversation, I'm just going to be rude and just cut you out otherwise, alright?
Right.
Alright, I'm not being personal or anything like that. Just shut the fuck up. What's it looking like anyway out left? Can you see anything?
Trees of green.
There's a big grey wall with vents on it.
Yeah, roger that. Just stay very frosty, because we all know what likes to happen on these convoys home.
I'll stay vigilant.
Alright, be very careful. Right side getting very tight. There you go. Good to go. Good driving there.
Get engaged, are we free to fire the secondary rifle? Secondary gun?
Yeah, of course.
It's awful in the back, Kimbo, that you don't even have leg room, you've got to squat.
Oh, bless.
There's just little, like, pillars on the floor that was sat on.
Do you feel like a refugee?
A little bit, like you smuggling us into the RG base.
Looking at the model, I'm actually wondering where they would be sitting. Spot at 1x helicopter.
Yeah, be advised, it's probably Talon, dude.
I'm just saying.
Not pronounced like that, it's pronounced Taliban.
Heliban.
Is that where they like take a show off the telly?
Tell you something, man, I could get used to sitting in this fucking vehicle. I don't have to worry about being shot too much, because if I do get shot in this, I'm either going to die outright or I'm going to have time to get out and run away.
This is actually a very good thing at doing here, Kimbo. Sometimes I feel like you need to understand what subject is experiencing to the fullest, you know? With that being said, I think, now throw on top of this, not only is Gambler ordering or giving you an order, but Kimbo's giving you an order. Just imagine how intense it gets.
Yeah, true that. I mean, to be honest with you, Stabs would rather have me in the Vic, but...
Wasn't it the other way around because you wanted to be in the Vic?
No. He wanted the warriors to have like 2 ICs in them to start with, but these things he wants the squad leads to be on them. Basically, so he can outright fucking bollock us if we blow anyone up doing something stupid.
Well, to be quite fair, as a vehicle crew, with this vehicle crew, we haven't blown up any friendlies yet.
That's a good point. We've got 100% vehicle safety rating as well.
And that is a lie.
We did die once.
We died once when you told us to bull rush a wall, and there were 2 LATs shooting us from up top.
Oh yeah, but I wasn't in charge of that vehicle. It's a complete different crew.
You gave us the order whilst subject said we'd rather not do that.
Well, he could have overruled me.
Yes, but there's bingo right there. That's the bingo, right? Subject didn't know what the lengths of his decision making he was allowed. So that's why I'm saying, like, very good opportunity for you now here, experience this, and to know what to give subject. In terms of freedom, that is. Just the driver's 2 cents on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I just want to let you know what the pecking order is in the vehicle as well. The driver's at the bottom, so shut up.
Yeah, I like it here.
You're happy to be down there with the boots and the mud?
I'm very happy right here, thank you.
Be advised, the convoy's turning left.
Could you polish my boots a bit, Templar?
Arms are that long, dude.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Watch the main gun now, it's getting a bit tight.
I'll put it more backwards.
Ah, fuck, I've overshot.
Put...
Be advised, we just took a turn in very late. Correction now.
Because of the safety with the main gun, I've pointed it forwards.
Cool, that's it, mate. Just make sure the cannons are reset forward, please.
Yeah, it is.
I seriously would like to be able to turn out. The view is terrible.
I see a Taliban helicopter right there. Oh?
I don't know where I'm going, but...
Okay, just park up there, mate.
Right.
Hold, you got infantry all the way around you.
Sorry, I saw
Turn
the front guys go right.
Turn the vehicle right.
Right.
Forward. That's it. Right, it's a bit more, tad more. Turn your right. That's it, forward. That'll do. Right, hold, don't get out yet. Just stay where you are. Right, okay, all out. All out.
Ready, fuck, sir.
You just had a freaking ton tank over your uniform. No, wait, I actually might be able to save this.
Yeah. We just flew away there.
Sorry?
Not that fat, yes.
Just get in line.
Got a little red on it.
Yeah.
Just oh, it's Victor, I see.
And you got on, Greeny?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad. Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Bad Viking.
Hot Mike!
Blackhawk.
Hot
Mike.
Sorry?
I'm bandaging you already, Victor.
Stabs, I got a question.
Dear. What's happened here?
Dismounting vehicles is very dangerous.
Hold comms.
I got a quick question here about the tanks.
Yeah, shoot.
Is there a way to turn off the stabilization?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Alright. Yes, thanks.
Is there a way for the driver to turn out?
Don't believe so on that tank.
Yeah, that's a negative.
On the other tanks, yes.
Right, gents, I won't keep you long. Thanks all for coming. Apologies for the delay at the start, but big thanks to Riot and Taro for getting that squared away as quickly as they did. And yeah, hope you all got some out tonight and enjoyed it, and it was worth your while and all that jazz. That's it from me, really. I don't have any other announcements. Anything from Talon?
Nothing from us.
Anything from Vegas? Vegas?
Nothing from Vegas. Just
Cool.
thanks for running the training stab.
Very well.
Great to see everyone getting familiar with the tanks, and remember to be careful with these things, guys, because they are difference makers, both positively and negatively.
Absolutely. So we'll see some more of it for sure. But I do stress now that not everyone is going to get hands on these all the time. It's just the nature of the thing that they're supremely powerful in both ways, as Caesar said. So they'll have to be handled with kid gloves. But I'm keen to get as many people well versed on them as they can. It's just going to take some time. But I hope you all had fun anyway. For the infantry side of things, the stuff you did tonight carries over to lots of other vehicles as well. So although it's with a tank, you know, the same thing can be said for Humvees and Jackals and Warriors and Bradleys and all the other things that we play with. So yeah, that's it. Thanks very much, guys. I won't take up any more of your time. I'll bid you good night, and I'll see you at the weekend.
Ciao.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good night, gent.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thanks all, good training.
Night all.
Caesar, do you want to quickly check them thingies?
The what?
MRAP-y thingies.
Oh, I did you not see my message?
No, I didn't.
I checked them last night. They're fine. They're a bit funky. Like large IEDs, they'll cripple it, but you'll be fine inside. But an RPG to the side will cripple it and then destroy it. Like it'll explode.
Right, well, thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you on Sunday.